up, y'all? You kicking it with the Junkyard Dog on junkyarddogs.com. My name is Tony, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank Poopies out there in Savannah, Illinois, for sending me this sweater. It's a motorcycle shop. You know, they noticed one of my bikes in one of the previous videos, so they said, you know, go hook your boy up. I appreciate that. Thank you. But today we're going to cover one of my favorite junkyard mods, and it's the GT40 or GT40P cylinder head for our Foxbody Mustangs, or actually any 302 motor. The GT40P or GT40 heads are found in 96 to 99 Ford Explorers, sometimes 2000, I think the early 2000s as well. It's a great junkyard mod. I mean, you're going to add like 40 horsepower to your setup just by bolting these on. I mean, that's not without porting them or anything, just bolting them on. The best flowing factory Ford head out there, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys how to, first of all, identify them when you're out in the yard, then also how to take them off or pull them from the yard. Then we're gonna show you the rebuild process, and then we're gonna show you guys how to drill and tap the thermactor hole to make them smog compliant, all right? So yeah, man, it's gonna be a two-part series, man. I hope you guys stick around for it, man. It's gonna be real cool. As you can tell, I'm kind of excited about it. This is one of my favorite mods. You know, when I first discovered this mod, I couldn't believe how much power I got out of it. You know what I mean? So let's get this going, all right? Quick jaw jacking, Junkyard Doggin.
All right, so we're on the look for some GT40 setup. They sold a couple 100,000 of them, so hopefully we can come up on a GT40 setup. It's a gloomy day today, so looks like, let's go back through here. I don't see anything. Damn. Woo! Hope he survived, or she. All right, we out here dogging. Oh, look like we got an Explorer here. It's an 8. That's the first indicator, is to find one with the V8 badging. Now, if you see this little V8, because there's another one that's chrome, if you see this little V8, usually it'll be an earlier one, and there's a very good chance that it has GT40 heads and not GT40Ps. It'll also have the badge right here. Yeah, man, it's a V8. We have the EGR style GT40 intake, but people that I hear online talk about the GT40 or GT40P heads, they're always talking about 3-bar or 4-bar. Well, as you can see, you're not gonna see much of any of that down there, okay? You're gonna see a little something, but not enough to tell. So the way that you can figure out whether, what's up, man? The way you can figure out whether it's a GT40 or GT40P setup, and it's still even hard to tell like this. Basically, you're gonna move these wires, and on the corner of the head down there, you're gonna see it either say GT or P. And if it just says GT, these are GT40 heads. And if it says P, is GT40P heads. So that's how you tell. You get down in there, and you see it says GT right there on the corner of the head right down there. And if it was P heads, it would say P. So these are GT40 heads. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these. I'll show you the procedure. So, you know, we have a video online, and we have instructional, you know, steps on the website to tell you how to get the intake off. So we're gonna not go through that again. We're gonna go ahead and pull it off, and then show you guys how to get the heads off. Now we're at the stage where the intake is gone. And yeah, like I said, you guys can go to the website and find out how to remove the intake. So we are now going to remove the heads. So first thing you want to do when removing these is get the valve covers off. So there is 6 11mm bolts per side. So there's one here, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one way back there. You see it? There it is, there. Okay, same thing on the other side. So remove those, and then you'll expose the rockers. So now that the valve covers have been removed, next thing we're gonna move on to is the exhaust manifolds. So you're gonna take a 14 millimeter socket or a 9/16 socket, and you got to get in there and remove them. So you want to kind of try to take the most of them out of the top as you can, because you know you crouch down, you're gonna get tired, whatnot. So you want to take a wrench, stick it down in there, and just kind of squeeze it in between. Now the issue with this is that it is super tight, and these heat shields on the manifolds are really sharp. I've been cut by them a few times. So what you want to do is you're going to stick the wrench in there, just like that, and you're going to use the wrench on wrench trick. Okay, this is how you loop the wrench. Okay, gives you leverage, and we all know in the engineering world that leverage gives you more power with less strength. Here it is. Boom, and we loosened it. You need to come over here to the side and crouch down and get them straight on from under here. Okay, usually there'll be like a rubber patch like this or whatever. I just rip it off. Okay, so what we'll do is remove those bolts and then move the exhaust manifolds out the way. You got to do the exact same thing on the other side. Right, so we got most of the bolts out except for one on this side, and that's the one for the oil dipstick. It's a little bit of a pain. That's always, every mechanic knows that there's always that one bolt, but I'm gonna show you guys how to get past that one bolt on this side. And this is why, guys, if you're ever pulling this motor, it's never good to use the exhaust manifolds and Explorers, because as you can see, this one just straight up came apart. Really bad welding on these. So you got all that space under there now to get these head bolts. Okay, I'll show you guys that in a minute, but let's get to this oil dipstick here. Now this one you definitely have to get from the side here. So first thing you want to do to make removing that easy is you got to remove that bolt right here from the steering shaft. It's a 13 millimeter bolt. It's in there pretty tight, so it's best to use a breaker bar to get that out. To remove that bolt, you just want to slide this down. See it? See, it's hanging, so slide it down and off. The reason why we did that is because this is in the way of that bolt right there, as you can see. It's basically a nut on a stud that attaches the oil dipstick to the header bolt. So you got to remove the nut first and then remove the stud to get the header off. All right, so once you get that loose, just gonna see that nut in there. Okay, that's the nut. It's a long kind of nut. Okay, you're gonna see the dipstick. So you're gonna come back up top here. You're gonna take the dipstick and push it that way. Okay, then you come back underneath here. And you can see now it's out of the way of that nut right there, or that nut stud combination. All right, so you're gonna want to use a deep socket to get that off. And yeah, then the two headers are now loose. And now the header is loose. So you're gonna take your hand, hit it there, and come off. Now you might want to try to attempt to take it out, but sometimes it won't come out. And if it doesn't, that's fine. It's just easier when they're out the way. Take this. Take the dipstick out, throw that over there. But yeah, it's easier to take it out, but if you can't, just push it out of the way. So the next step here is to remove the accessories, which would be the alternator brackets and then the power steering and AC bracket. Okay, so this one has one 11/16 bolt and two 9/16 bolts. You can also try to use a 14 millimeter or a 17 millimeter, depending on what you have in your toolbox. On this side, it's three 11/16 or 17 millimeter bolts that you have to remove, and those three go into the front of the head. Okay, so we're going to remove those, and then we move to the back here and remove the trans dipstick bolt, which is also a 9/16. And I'll show you guys how I do that without, like, you know, breaking my back. All right, let's go. All right, so on the passenger side, you're gonna see 9/16 there. 9/16 there, and it's a little hard to see, but there is a 11/16 or 17 millimeter, whichever one you can fit right there. So you remove those three and the head will be free from the accessories on the passenger side. So you want to remove this side, which is a driver's side accessories, but the trick to this side, it's a little tricky because if you try to stick the ratchet down in there under here, you bump up against this pulley. So you want to remove this pulley. So it's 3 10 millimeter bolts. So what I usually do is I just jam a screwdriver in there, take my 10 millimeter ratchet wrench, and then just tap it with the mallet to get it loose. I just got it loose right there, and I can take it off with my finger. So the 3 bolts are out of the power steering pump pulley. So just wiggle it. Off it comes. Stick that to the side. So it's really hard to see from here because of the angle, but there's a bolt there, there's another one right in there, and there's one underneath right here. Okay, that's the best I can do. I don't want to stick my camera down in there because it's going to get damaged, but mind you, see where this round loop is? There's a nut, or I mean a bolt right there, there's a bolt there, and then there's a bolt underneath this flat part right here. Okay, they're all 11/16, so you just go ahead and take your time and take them loose. Okay, I usually start with the bottom one because it's really hard to get. See I have it on there. All right, that's that one. And the next one's in here. See. Just got this last one, and there you go. You see it start moving. Alright, so now you see that this is all loose. All right, you don't need to pull it all the way, but this is where you get your confirmation of your 3-bar. Okay, we'll look down in there. I don't know if you can see those 3 bars down there. Hard to see with all this other stuff in the way, but there it is. 3-bar. 1, 2, 3. Those are GT40 heads. So the next thing you want to remove is the trans dipstick. I made the mistake a long time ago of not taking this off first, and it really gave me hell. So you're gonna actually put the wrench on it like that, and then I usually use a mallet and I just hit it like that so I don't bust my knuckles, and then just screw it loose and then pull that, or just push it out the way. See, now it's loose. Just push it out the way. It's not attached to the head anymore. So now we're at the stage we're going to remove the head bolts. There's 10 per side, so 20, and then we're scot-free. All right. So on each head, I'll show you just one side. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then way back in the cut, it's 10. All right. Same thing on the other side. So to take those loose, you're gonna want to use a breaker bar for sure, and also it's an 11/16 or 17 millimeter, whichever one you want to use. I find the 11/16 works really well. So let's use a breaker bar on 11/16, and then we'll use a ratchet to take it out the rest of the way. Bar just like that. All right, bam. Ooh, it's a lot easier when I got a cameraman, but I don't. So, boom. And once it gets loose, you take the same 11/16 off and you stick it on the 1/2-inch ratchet. All the head bolts are removed, so I just like to stick a breaker bar in there and just tilt it back. Remove the push rods and then pull it out. there you have it. Some GT40 heads pulled from the yard. So let's get it back to the doghouse and see what we can do. And the junkyard dog hands is all black from working, so we're gonna clean up with some of this fast orange. Stuff is dope, man. I actually like to use this without any water at first, and then use a rag to wipe up the majority of it, and then I use it again to get the last of it. There it is. Back ready to get into society. Man, this stuff works really good, man. Damn. Whew. All right, let's get back to the doghouse.